Yeah, madly. For Britain's rednecks, we're a bit more perceptive down here than you think.
And we're live. Greetings and salvations. I'm Moonthought Neverboard, the Abyss that Slumbers, and this is Eldritch talking again. We're just sitting with one topic for one video, trying to make more bite size for you. I'm here with Mad Dodge and Farty again, and we are talking about yet again another wondrous gem that I saw with what was it? Sargon of Akkad. This was another one that was made sure to make my blood boil. The patriarchal race to colonize Mars is just another example of male entitlement. This article here, this is what will kill humanity. Okay, this is why feminism will murder us all, because the need for humanity to leave Earth is really important. Okay, if we never leave Earth, eventually we will all die. It's only a matter of time. Okay, all the dinosaurs died. There have been meteor strikes. There have been all sorts of stuff. There's been stuff as recently as like 150 years ago that would have, if the Earth had just turned, I think it was 6-7 hours, would have destroyed London. Okay, it was on the same parallel. I forget the name of the blast, but it was pretty bad. Okay, so civilization on this orb is pretty precarious. So going to Mars or into space in general is a very good idea. It's called don't put your eggs all in one basket here. Yet this woman basically, the only thing I could tell is that the only reason we should ever leave the planet is if women want to go there. It's bizarre. But let's get into some of the materials. Any thoughts on this before I get into the meat of this?
Oh yeah, I'd love to get out of here and go to Mars and all this kind of stuff. Particularly after that documentary, what was it called, Total Recall? I've seen that the fucking Sheila's got the three tits, man. Oh, I'm there, dude.
I,
Well, and I believe we need to be a multi-planet society, honestly. And I think we should let Richard Spencer run the moon. We could just give them the moon for their white ethno state, and then we'll skip over and terraform Mars and do the real work.
in my opinion, by the way, that guy, just go to Iceland. You want your ethno state? There it is. I believe they're like 98% white. So if every ethno nationalist went to Iceland, they could probably take it over. So there you go. There's your solution. Bye bye. Oh, wait, you want your ethno state here? No, thank you very much. Go away. But anyway, back to this topic here. This is one of the lines that gets me. We want a new space race, SpaceX founder Elon Musk said in a press conference shortly after the launch of his company's Falcon Heavy rocket and his Tesla Roadster. For those of you who don't know, Elon Musk fired one of his cars into space with a robot behind the wheel, just like in that Heavy Metal like cartoon there. I mean, it's kind of stupid, but okay.
He's the coolest guy ever.
He's a billionaire and he wants to launch his car into space. Go for it, dude. Okay. But this is the part that goes me. In the article, it goes, like a child, he gleefully continued. Really? Elon Musk acted like a child. Really? No. I think he acted like Elon Musk, and I think you're a bitter old shrew. But, as she goes on, Elon Musk isn't the only billionaire looking to enter the space race, blah, blah, blah. You know why they want to enter the space race? For two reasons, okay? Because one, immortality. You're not going to get it any other way other than being the famous guy who colonized Mars. Or two, you're going to make money at it. And if you're a billionaire, how do you make money? By taking risky investments and hoping they pay off. Now, this one is like, it's the same intellectual and cultural force that teaches men that everything and everyone in their line of vision is theirs for the taking. You know, just like walking up to a woman and grabbing her by the pussy. I want to shoot myself. I really just want to shoot myself when I read that, because it's like, no, nobody ever taught me that. In fact, no, answer me. You two, did anyone teach you that everyone and everything is yours for the taking in your line of vision?
No, but they did tell us that we could do whatever we wanted. You know, you could be whatever you want to be. So I guess that kind of equates to grab her by the pussy. I don't know.
The problem with that line is also they always leave out the part they let you grab them by the pussy. They let you. That's the very definition of consent, you bitch. But hey, like every man is taught to be a rapist. That's her attitude. Every man's a rapist. This is feminism. This is it. This is fourth wave. This is the snake biting its own tail. This is the woman who attacks the grid girls and costs women's their jobs and wants every woman on the planet in a hijab covered head to toe by Levi's hijabs. Thoughts before I move on?
Well, I don't know. The hijab just isn't that flattering. I'm not a fan.
Here's the problem. I don't know what happened. I mean, I suppose you can make an argument for saying feminism was never a good idea, but I think it had some okay ideas. But the problem is that it's never really embraced the cost. Okay, if you want to be treated like a man, you're going to be treated like a man, and being a man sucks. We get sent off to war, we get killed. There's another article which I'm not going to include where they discourage the use of any word that has the words man in it. And so part of me wants to go, oh, okay, like woman? We can't use woman? But yes, they don't want you using that either because the word woman has the word man in it. And I'm like sitting there and going, do you know what the original nomenclature, there were three words. There was woman, man, and wereman. That's why you have werewolves. Okay, a werewolf is man-wolf. That's what were means. It was were, man, and woo, man. But somewhere around, 18th century with the evolution of industrialism, we got rid of were man and there's just woman and men. Why? Because men don't have any value. Men have no value whatsoever. Their only value is what they do. So you had police man. You had, a post man. Why? Well, because we only value the man by their job. Everybody out there, you remember when those 37 miners got trapped underground in that South American country? You remember that? All those 37 men trapped underground? No, you don't remember the men trapped underground. It was miners trapped underground. Because we don't give a crap about 37 men. We give a crap about 37 miners. They have a job. They're worth something.
Oh yeah, Eldritch. So does feminism include the fact that we allow women and children off the sinking ship first, or should they wait alongside the men? They should all. I mean, really. Where does equality end?
Well, see,
Like,
that's the
do you
thing.
want to be really equal, or do you want to be superior?
Hang on.
Which one?
Hang on. The whole women and children thing's actually a myth. That's not actually in a maritime rule or law or anything like that. And it wasn't actually the case on the Titanic as well. That's one of the Titanic myths. So the women and children thing's not actually a thing. It was just a gentlemanly thing to do at the time, apparently.
Oh, well, I mean, women
What
and
was
children
actually supposed
first.
to happen during
The actual statistics are generally the women and children get off first. But yeah, there were just as many men who were willing to hip check a woman over the edge to take her place. I understand that. But if you go by the statistics, in fact, there was a whole feminist study about this where it's like women are superior to men because we've studied all of these time periods where there were mass famine and women outlived men. Did it occur to you that maybe the men gave their wives the food and chose to starve to death instead of letting their wives die? That the possible?
Yeah. Also, too, the mere fact that the boats were only loaded women and children only was another myth because they actually did put, I think it's between 6 or 8 uh, big, strong blokes. They had to pick them out of the crowd to jump in because they'd run out of crew to put on the boats without keeping security over the crowd trying to get on the boats. But also, too, the myth that the women and children were the only thing to go on was that they were putting women and children on partially loaded and they were going to come back and pick up survivors and other people as the boat was sinking. So they just step on the boats because the angle of the boat, the actual ship itself, was becoming so drastic that they were beginning to lose the ability to actually launch the boats from the cradles. Another also myth about that too is that they didn't have enough. In fact, they did have actually more than enough boats to put people on. Partially, they short loaded the boats, but also too they had more self-erecting emergency boats that they could also utilised. The unfortunate part about it was that they went and set sail with some really rotten ones. They're made out of canvas and all this kind of stuff, and a sort of self-erecting frame. And a lot of the canvas had rotten through. So Yeah, and the whole point of the other boats getting back to pick up survivors never actually occurred.
Well, okay, well, that's a
So
little off
Yeah,
topic here.
yeah,
Moving back to the
yeah.
topic.
Damn, I stumbled into the Titanic, didn't I? Jesus Christ.
Well, we're going from Mars to the
Sorry.
Titanic, where it's all over the place when it comes to feminism here.
Sorry about that. I kind of geeked out there.
No. Hey, that's what this is about here. But in general, I mean, you have a point there too, where there's the myth of things as well. But I mean, if you look at the statistics there, the fact of the matter is that, you know, if you want to be a man and live like a man, you die earlier. Okay, that's generally the statistics, because being a man usually kind of sucks. But that said, there, you know, comes with some perks too, or at least it used to. And those perks have all disappeared. And now people are wondering, hey, why do you have, you know, the herbivore male out of Japan and the rise of the MGTOW? Well, the reason why you're having those rises is because there's no perks anymore to being, you know, the male provider of the family. There used to be. I mean, it sucked to be the man, but you were the king of your castle and you had your wife who, you know, who was very grateful to you for, you know, providing the food that goes on her table. And now you go into these relationships and she's like, I don't need no man, except I need your wallet. So I'm going to make you live in poverty for the rest of your life while I take the children, because my psychologist told me that you were oppressing me. Which I've actually had this conversation where I watched a couple break up because they went to couples counseling and the counselor convinced the woman that he was oppressing her. They'd been happy up until that point. But after going to the counselor, she was convinced she was oppressed and had to go through a divorce. And she was miserable. She was utterly miserable without her husband. But I have to do this because he's oppressing. No, he's not. He isn't. But couldn't get through. But still. This is what feminism does. It fucks with women and makes them miserable. Like, I mean, why can't... Sorry, you go ahead.
Yeah, I've got... what I was going to say this before I started crapping on about the Titanic, anyway, yeah. Oh, with the Titanic... No, just kidding. I read between the lines with this, and I know what's actually going on. And it's not the patriarchy. They've spelt MGTOW wrong. It's actually MGTOW wants to go to Mars because we're sick of fucking women's shit. And they're pissed at it.
Well, I mean, this is what men do. I mean, they want to go forward and conquer. Okay, well, you know what that does? That creates civilization. Oh, no, the world is polluted. She goes on about how polluted the earth is on this one. But you want to know something? People are living longer. Okay, so that would indicate to me there is less pollution on the planet, that the world isn't a festering, burning garbage pile, that maybe if you're living longer than ever, we've done a pretty good job of getting rid of those pollutants, like, you know, diseases, you know, those pollutants, those bacteria that kill you, those are pollutants. Yeah, but go ahead, Mad Dutch, sorry to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just going to ask, if ever all the men are going to run off to Mars, am I the only one with a good wife? Like, Jesus Christ, guys. There are good women out there.
Oh,
they're not all evil.
No, they're not. They're not. It's just that the problem is it seems to take a while before they realize it. You know, that has been from somebody who's not participating, and I get to watch from a distance. That's what seems to be happening. I'm not saying that all women are evil. No, in fact, I would probably go to say that maybe only 3% of women, maybe 5%, are feminists. Despite what,
maybe 15.
No. I'm going with 3 to 5 because that's the actual percentage of the population, which seems to statistically be insane. Okay, so, but out of any given population, about 1 out of 20 you can expect to actually be some sort of mental illness. But
how much of the male population has Steve Shives syndrome?
I don't know, and I pity that man. I feel nothing but pity in my heart for that man. I can't be angry with him no matter how crazy it is, because it's like, dude, you are just so beaten down. You are just so crushed. I'm so sorry, man, that you have to live. Part of me wants to go blink twice if you want us to come and rescue you. Just blink like twice on one video and we'll take it as a sign. Yeah. We'll break into your home at 3 a.m. and rescue you.
I just want to say hashtag free Stuffy. I feel for that poor bear.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, but overall,
That's the real one. That's the one that needs to be saved, man. Shives is a goner, like, but we can save Stuffy.
you got a point. You got a point. But anyway, moving on. In general, going over this article, but also with the whole, don't say anything with the word men in it. Um, I don't understand why she doesn't understand that somebody's got to go and do this, and women don't want to. Men do. So why would you be upset that men want to create a colony on Mars? And here's the thing: there's actually I don't know if you guys knew this. It was a couple of years ago, kind of petered out, but there was an actual movement to colonize Mars, and they put up a website that said, "Who here will volunteer for a one-way trip to Mars?" Knowing damn well your life expectancy will probably be so short, you probably only live there a couple of months before the radiation from the trip there and living on there will kill you. Okay, you will die there and probably very quickly. But knowing these horrible, horrible outcomes, who will volunteer to go there? There were tens of thousands of people who signed up and said, I will volunteer to a one-way trip to Mars, knowing full well I'll never get home and die there, just so I can do my part to help set things up for the next person to come and hopefully live a little bit longer. There were thousands, tens of thousands of people, multiple tens of thousands of people willing to go in waves and die there just to give the next guy an extra, just a little bit of more of a head start.
Well, can I bring beer? If I can bring beer, I'm down. I'll sign up.
Yeah, but see, that's the male attitude. Like, man, I'm going to go there and I'm going to die. But in the process, people will walk on the bones of my body and live in this glorious city that was built on my grave. And that will be my testimonial to the future. They take pride in that fucking concept. To go commit suicide on Mars. But I'm not committing suicide. I'm fighting every step of the way just to make it easier for women to come later and be bitchy, I guess. Actually, I don't know how many were women. I don't know, but because there wasn't a big breakdown by gender. But I do know if you were looking at the names, I didn't see a lot of female ones.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it's committing suicide. I'm saying it's taking control of your own destiny and dying the way that you feel that you want to. It's not even euthanasia either, because you're not dying. You're going there and you're living out the rest of your life. So what's this suicide crap?
Well, I mean, the radiation and all that, it's going to kill you. I mean, you are not going to survive very long. Even the trip there might kill you on the way there. But
but it's not like, they're just gonna land and jump down from the ladder and then just go fucking and then take the fucking mask off and then turn into Arnold Schwarzenegger and what's that Sheila's name with their eyes popping out and shit.
I'd love that scene,
like
by the way.
that.
That was great. But anyway, yeah, I get your point.
Yeah, but it's not like that. Yeah.
Well, no, you do have a point as well. I guess suicide is the wrong word. Drastically shortening your life might be the word for it. But the willingness to do that is not raping and pillaging. This is like the worst of colonialism. No, it is the very definition of colonialism as a good thing, because there aren't any Martians we're going to be herding into Martian, reservations and then killing. Okay, there's nothing there. The place is dead. Okay, I don't care if there is a freaking microbe on Mars already. Kill that fucking microbe. It had its chance. And let's get some real microbes there, ones that got a little balls to them. Let's unleash some, I don't know, hit it with a couple of ice comets and let's get some atmosphere going. Seriously.
Lies. The Martians are there. They live underground. They visit Earth all the time. Lies.
The whole point of going there and dying quicker with the radiation and all that kind of stuff is already happening to the astronauts in the ISS and Mir and all that kind of stuff, because extended periods in space do weaken bone tissue and all this kind of stuff, and then deplete organ density and all this kind of stuff, and that causes weaknesses in immune systems and whatnot, and all this makes people more susceptible to cancers and other diseases and viruses and all this kind of shit, and no one really cares about that. So what's the big deal?
Well, I think the big deal is that study after study has shown that climate change globally affects women more than men. And so this whole going to Mars thing is just evil patriarchy, and we're all evil and vile and covered with fleas.
Wait,
Yeah, when
so
they when
the
they go
fake
there and get
thing.
tit cancer, they'll fucking have us up.
Wait, so the fake thing that mankind's not really causing because climate does change over time.
Yep,
That's been
yep,
proven. That
yep.
fake thing is a part of the fake patriarchy. Wow,
Oh
I'm
yeah,
stunned.
yeah. Oh, well, I mean, in some regards here with the whole, is there climate change? Yeah, the climate's changing. Did mankind do it? Well, let me put it to you this way. If we did, it's too, we have no hope in hell of stopping it. Okay. It's like knocking
Yep.
over a bucket of water. You can't into a rug.
Well,
Okay. You're not going to squeeze it back in. Okay. It's too
well,
late. The permafrost is melted. Okay. We're done.
hang
If
on.
the climate change is real, we're done. We're done. It doesn't matter. So let's hope it's not real. Okay.
No, 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 no. I'd rather listen to NASA on this because they're the operators, the creators, and the fucking people who deal with the data that comes from the actual satellites that people are utilizing as their go-to information to prove that that it exists. And you got these NASA satellite operators that are saying that the information that they've determined so far is not enough. We've only been doing this since the late 70s, and it's only now in the last 10 years and 20 years that the satellite technology has gotten enough that they can now detect things in meters squared instead of several meters squared. So they're getting more detail, and they're actually finding that the seas aren't in fact rising as fast as everybody says. What's also different from the 80s is that they said that the ozone layer would never repair itself.
Oh, I love that one.
And when we banned CFCs, we in fact did repair it because now the hole in the ozone layer, I think, is all but or either closed completely or just about to close. So there's all this shit that they said wasn't going to happen that's actually happened. So the whole thing of man-made climate change and we can't do anything about it's a load of shit. We've just proven that we can.
Well,
Well,
I think
and
the
I think
ozone
it's
layer is
woman
a
made.
different from a runaway feedback loop. Okay, because
but
there's enough carbon
but also
dioxide in Russian permafrost right now to make everything the mankind has put out for its entire existence to shame. Okay, I think like 4 or 5 times the amount of carbon dioxide all of mankind has ever pumped into the atmosphere is trapped in the Russian permafrost, and it's melting. Okay, so
here's
it's too
here's
late.
something.
Well,
Yeah, well, here's
well,
something that people don't also consider too. That like places like Australia, for example, we are 0.01% of the carbon footprint on the planet. And you'd find that at places like America and lots and lots of places in Europe, England in particular, have even got smaller carbon footprints. However, everything we do here in Australia alone in a decade is negated in 1 second in China. There's no point us doing a fucking thing when we're that far behind the curve.
Oh yeah,
Get them to do shit.
yeah.
Get them to do shit
Well,
first.
I mean, my point.
well,
I'm
and
sorry. Go ahead, Dodge.
yeah, just to get back onto your topic,
Mm.
why is it with this sexist fucking term, mankind did it? What about womankind? I think the women did it. Damn it, it's all their fault.
Oh well, in
Yeah,
some
they
regards, it
made us
is.
leave.
You know, they wanted air conditioning. We gave them air conditioning, and that's a carbon. They didn't want to clean their clothes on rocks, and they wanted washing machines. If you look at a lot of the innovations in the house today, it's all to make women's lives easier because men love their women. Sorry, we do. Men do not possess women; they love them. They don't want to grab them by the pussy all the time. They actually want to like hold them and cuddle them and stuff like that and say, "Wow, you're pretty nice. I like being with you. You're sweet." Unless you're a feminist, in which case that's patriarchy. But but I guess my whole point of this is because she brought up the environmentalism. That's why we got off on the tangent. If the world is going to shit, then we definitely need to get to Mars. We need to start now because if we've kicked over the can and it's too late, because I don't believe it's real, but if it is, it's too late. We've screwed the pooch. It's over. It's done with. There's no going back now. Let's get to Mars because we're going to need it. But this is what feminism would do. It would keep us here and let us all die in the, as she put it. How'd she put it here? Man-made garbage fires devouring the earth.
Just real quick, Campbell has said that's like calling going to war suicide, in my opinion. Well, sort of kind of the whole idea of going to war for me was to fucking survive it. But anyway, I'll put this to you. General George S. Patton, yeah, no army ever won a war for their country, well, won a war by dying for their country. They won a war by making the other cunt die for his country. And then you have a look at the Muslims. We will all martyr ourselves in the name of Allah. Well, off you go.
Well, it's not everybody who does the martyring, unfortunately. A lot of, if you actually look into how the martyrs are made, just as a side note, it's usually there's a small group of fanatic brainwashers who turn other people into fanatic suicide people. And then they go, you will die for Allah. I will eventually die for Allah. I'll get around to it. Don't worry about it. This is your time. I don't want to ruin the moment. I mean, they're big hypocrites, to be honest. There's a lot of hypocrites over there.
Well, just real quick on that, fucking Susan Boyle got an award from Obama for her work on counterterrorism.
But I actually just kind of... Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you know why? You know why? Because when the fucking terrorists found out what a real virgin looked like, they didn't really want 72 of them anymore.
Okay. Any rate, moving on here. But actually, that kind of feeds into the thing here. For as a whole, men, for some reason, they're the ones willing to go to Mars and die there. They're the ones willing to strap bombs to themselves and blow them up. They're the ones willing to go to war because we all do kind of have this whole attitude of the male myth is that we're immortal. That, yeah, a lot of people are going to die in this war, but I'm going to be the one who makes it through. Yeah, everybody going to Mars is going to die, but I'm the one who's going to live the longest and I'm going to make the biggest impact. And that kind of propels society forward. Yes, a lot of us wind up like lemmings and dying, but a couple of us do that incredible thing, and they're the ones that get all the praise. And then the rest of us all go, see, that guy pulled it off. Yeah, but the other 1,000 died. Yes, but he made it, and I want to be just like him. That's what propels society forward, whether we like it or not. Okay, it is on the bones and bodies of dead men. Sorry.
Yeah.
And that isn't patriarchy. That would be the opposite of patriarchy. Okay, because if it was patriarchy, we'd be doing it on the bodies of women. We'd be sending them out to die for us because they weren't worth anything. And as I've said this before, I'm sorry, women have inherent worth. Women are human beings and men are human doings. That's just the way it winds up. Sorry, but this woman's a bitch and she's an idiot. I think that's a conclusion. Any final thoughts?
Well, yeah, I just want to ask you, don't you think that's why men have the mental health issues and the higher suicide rates? Just because naturally we put everything upon ourselves. So we really carry the burden, right, in the modern family, or at least we're supposed to. And the lack of the family is also a burden.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's face facts. It's the reason why men die more. Being a man is harsh, and there's not a lot of support for it. Because, let's face facts, in public, male pain is taboo. Okay, and I experienced this once. I had a breakdown and I started crying because I had a flashback to when I got the shit beat out of me for like up to a billion times. And I got arrested for crying in public and sent off to be, I told them, I'm fine. I'm just really sad here. And nope, you had to get a psych eval because a crying man is a dangerous thing. I had to be handcuffed. Like, what the fuck? But men's pain is forbidden in public because it terrifies people. It terrifies women to see men emotional. They keep saying, "Oh, I want you to share our feelings," but when a man actually does, it usually terrifies them because men are kind of single-minded. Men aren't multitaskers. So that's how we can put aside our emotions to go focus on one thing at a time. But when we do focus on it's not that we don't feel, we're just not focusing on our emotions. So when we focus on them, holy fuck, we focus on our emotions. And most women go, holy fucking shit, what the hell's going on here? Well, you wanted to know how we felt. Well, here you go. It's pretty ugly. Do you want to see it again? And they usually answer is no. Well, that's what the problem is. Men aren't encouraged to show their feelings, and the feminists who say men should be encouraged to show their feelings, no. You want superficial exposure to feelings. You don't want men to share men's feelings. You want men to share women's feelings. Men don't have women's feelings. Men have men's feelings, and men's feelings are usually fucking intense and downright terrifying. Any rate.
Yeah, I've got a few things to say just real quick. It should change too that women should be told that they're clearly in the wrong position anyway, because there is a vast sort of culture of women going out with bad boys, and then when they become the target of the bad boys, no one sort of says, "What the fuck are you doing with that bloke?" Kind of thing. Oh, you can't blame the victim. Well, what the fuck not? And then she goes off with another bad boy and just continues to have a series of bad boy boyfriends and continues to have, being assaulted and shit. It's like, don't go out with the fuckwits. Listen to us when we say he's a fuckwit. There were women even being murdered because of that. And it was sort of like, well, why is she going out with a guy that's overtly a fuckwit? So, they need to be told that. There was a couple other things, but I can't remember now. So anyway, it doesn't matter.
Well, the reason why that happens is, unfortunately, that women have stopped warning each other. There used to be, I wanted to call it the vagina wall, where women were not allowed to date men outside their age range by other women. But feminism took over and said, do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. You're free to do whatever you want. Well, actually, the whole reason why there were all these sexual rules and taboos were set up by other women to protect women. The minute you remove those taboos, those weren't set up by men. They were set up by women. So the minute you have like an 18-year-old girl screwing a 30-year-old guy, you're having a 30-year-old woman not able to find a husband. Okay? And that 18-year-old girl is going to turn into a 30-year-old woman and then go, all right, I'm done tripping and falling on dicks. I'm ready to settle down. What do you mean no man wants to look at me that I'm old and ugly and used? Well, that's because the 18-year-olds are allowed to have sex with the 30-year-olds because none of the 30-year-old women are standing their grounds and shaming anybody anymore. There's no shame. Well, guess what? Now you're getting screwed. And literally and figuratively. Anyway, any final thoughts before we move on? I got to wrap up soon.
Yeah, I just remembered one of the other thing from what I was going to say, and it's sort of similar to the woman from last year. She's already played Poke the Psycho and fucking got really, really fucking scared when the dog barked back. But I don't fucking feel sorry for her that I scared her and made her feel terrified and all this kind of stuff after, especially what she did to me in return. But who I feel sorry for is her husband, because he's ex-army too, or currently serving, and he's been overseas a few times. And he is going to go through the same shit I have, and we've already seen what she's done to me. I feel sorry for him.
Any final thoughts, Dodge?
No, I think we ranted enough about the women.
Well, not the women's, the feminisms. Because I'll be honest here, I think all three of us agree that in general women are pretty nice and we like them. It's these nut jobs who are trying to destroy their own gender that is the problem. Anyway.
I don't trust anything that bleeds for 8 days and doesn't die anymore.
Well, I understand entirely the sentiment. Any rate, it's been real and it's been fun. I hope it's been real fun. This is going to be the last of the three we've done. And I'm wondering if we're going to start doing this on the main night as well, because maybe this is a good format to do. I kind of like the cavalcade, kind of just rambling from one topic to the other, bam, bam, bam. But I think going into more in depth one at a time, we get a lot more done, and it's a lot more compartmentalized and easier for people to digest. Any rate, any final thoughts before we move on? No, really. All right. Thank you, Jacob and Campbell, for stopping by. We appreciate it. It's been fun. I'm almost 3 o'clock here, so I got to get some work done. And, man, hope everybody has a good week. If at all possible, I'm hoping to do this on Friday. We'll see whether or not how my schedule holds up. All right. Talk to you guys later. Bye.
Alrighty.